Welcome to
Exactly.
Roleplay Cafe. This is John with the introduction. Dell is not here. We're running through Alien. We're continuing with our campaign out of the Building Better Worlds. We're on episode 13, I believe. And we have just Todd and Dune here with us.
You make it sound like it's not enough for what's
So
to
that it's not, well, I don't know. You're going to see what happens.
come.
Might be coming up with new characters,
Mm.
being down one. But so last time we arrived at the Dillon colony, which is the second colony you're investigating. This is an established colony. Obviously, there's a big map here that says it's ruined, so it's not in very good shape. It was
Yes.
primarily a mining colony. There are the remnants of some mining facilities up northwest of the colony itself, and there was an atmosphere processor in the northeast that was
Right.
processing the air here to ensure that it was breathable for the colonists.
Hmm.
However, something has happened to the colony and it is no longer occupied. The former colonists uh, seem to be living in like villages and huts and stuff. You encountered a few of them scattered uh, outside of the jungle, just south of the mining facility. You guys landed there and were greeted by some, and you found out that one of their leaders, Vidon, uh, has a large group of survivors in the southwest at the camp up on a plateau that's well above the jungle canopy.
Right.
Uh, you guys kind of made friends with the colonists that you saw there. Yoko introduced them to some uh, new potato species that he thought would be viable and be able to grow in the jungle. And Dr. Bircher took care of a young man who was injured um, and possibly saved his life because he was in pretty bad shape. And so they've showed you some hospitality and fed you and offered to take you to the camp to meet Vidon and the other leadership. And they
Mhm.
asked you whether you wanted to travel by day or by night. And they explained that by night there are feral colonists that have resorted to cannibalism that live in the jungle that you would need to deal with. But if you travel during the day, you need to worry about the heat of the jungle because it gets as hot as 48 degrees Celsius here,
That's right.
Yeah.
which is about, I think it's about in the 120s, I want to say, uh, for those in Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Um,
traveling by night sounds
and
like nonsense to me, says Yoko.
yes, and I think you guys decided on the heat because you
Yes.
are wearing your vac suits.
That's right.
Uh, so there is some temperature modulation that takes place inside there. So you should be able to deal with the heat as long as your vac suits are not um, damaged. Uh,
Uh,
Yes.
have any locals? I don't remember where exactly we were. I don't know if you want to set up where we're starting from, but I was just wondering about the locals if
sure.
they were interested in traveling with us or if they were just like, oh, it's that way.
No, you're gonna have a guide
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
going to take you there. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there we go. So we're just going to say that the village you were staying at is, it's not letting me resize it, but it's within that white circle right there.
Perfect.
Uh,
Is it
and
uh, is it have the village? The village have a name? I don't know if it matters.
no, it's not. I mean, it's basically just like a half dozen huts. that have been built on the edge, maybe to scavenge inside of the colony.
Okay. Okay.
It's not anything. There's only about 14 or 15 people there to greet you, and you saw a
Okay.
few more when you were inside the village, and
Mm-hmm.
when they were feeding you.
Were there families and children, or children?
There were a few children,
Okay.
because particularly, that's who Yoko interacted with.
Okay. Cool.
The few children that were there, and some of the younger people who were perhaps maybe more open to switching to some sort of agriculture or something.
What
But
was there? I actually had one question. Was there any like signs that they had any technology that they were using, or were they like
so
totally without?
I mean, their technology level was pretty low. They seem to have repurposed a lot of the things. So when Dr. Bircher was inside of one of the huts attending to this young man, he noticed that that they kind of uh, most of the like belongings inside of the hut were an amalgamation of like wood and vines and stuff, and then bits of metal and repurposed equipment and that sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, you do know.
Sorry.
I should respecify that the atmosphere processor, that is running, and you
Yes.
determine that from orbit beforehand.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so I mean, they do have some sort of power source, but they don't seem to be living inside of the colony, and you're not entirely sure why.
Mhm.
Um, and the that they seem to have either lost the ability to utilize this technology, or they've abandoned it for whatever reason.
The village that we visited here on the edge of the jungle, is it? Do they have power? Then you said are they
They
using the
they
power
have no
from?
power.
Okay, they have no
They have
power.
no power.
Okay, that's what I
No.
would expect. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that they heated themselves through fire over the course of the night. That's how they cooked their food, and they were just you know they had their clothes were kind of piecemeal patched and
Uh
stuff
huh.
like that. I did mention that there was like bits of leather and stuff that seemed to be freshly created, not like you know as though it's not cured or anything, but I mean it's obviously something that they made recently,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to old leather objects from
Right.
inside the colony itself.
It looked
Okay.
more like more primitive, more like okay, this is a hide that was taken from some creature and
Exactly.
fixed
Yes.
into a garment.
But the reason, yes, and the reason I pointed that out is because that means that there are creatures here.
Oh yes, yes, of
Not,
course.
Yeah.
it's not a
Is that an
lifeless
empty jungle
thing.
full of like flowers and butterflies for us to
Paradise Planet.
Yeah.
fresh water,
Well,
jungle
I'm sure
nymphs?
it's a six-legged pig that runs around that they could
Yeah.
eat and make leather out of.
And it wants to hug your face.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
One
right.
last question, and then I'm done with the questions unless anything else comes up.
Okay.
Did they give
Yeah.
us a sense of when the fall of the colony happened? If it was like
Uh,
years, decades, centuries?
they have not said, and you have not asked.
Very good. We can ask the guide on the way.
That's right.
Okay.
So when did
Is the
this all
guide
go
going to be a
for?
named NPC?
Uh, yes. The guide, who is the person that you originally met. His name is, I think.
Let's see if I remember. If I
I'm going to
recognize
confuse. I'm going to confuse it. I know
it.
there's a Kyle, but I think that was the guy that was injured that Bircher attended to.
There
So,
was.
so let's say, unless one of you have it written down, I should have written it down.
Yeah, I don't
It
have
doesn't
it.
appear to be in my notes.
No. No.
Uh,
No.
I have a
we're going to
recording,
say,
but I haven't
we're gonna say this is Evan. Is
Evan is our guide. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
All right.
At least I would be
Uh,
able to tell if it was like more recent or like centuries. Have they been living out here for like multiple generations? Probably not. I would imagine. Doesn't seem like it.
so I mean, it hasn't even been multiple generations. I mean, it hasn't been centuries since the colonies were established.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Good.
been,
Okay.
it's
Maybe
been,
decades then.
it's been about 150 years since the colonies
Mm.
were established. So
Okay.
the colonies, you kind of lost contact with the colonies about 100 years ago.
Cool. I
Uh,
feel like I
so,
feel like I heard
but you
somewhere
don't.
that a generation is 20 years, but I don't know if that's true.
Okay, then yes, multiple. If that's what you were going by generation, then yes, it has been multiple generations.
Oh yeah, definitely since we lost contact with the colonies, but not. We'll ask Evan what he has to say.
Okay,
All right.
so do we just want to cut to the travel from the village to the camp,
Is there
and you
anything
can ask
else?
some questions along the way?
I'm happy
Yeah.
to
Is
cut to
it?
travel personally.
Yeah.
The only thing we need to establish is who of us is there again. I just want to reestablish who's on the away mission. But but other than that, I'm ready to travel. You have anything, Todd?
No, I'm fine if we just keep going. Yeah.
Okay, so the ones that came down on the ship, we have the three PCs.
Mm-hmm.
Dudge flew, obviously.
Dudge is remaining
Uh,
in the ship,
ha,
which is parked near this
yes,
village.
Yes, he's
yes.
on the drop ship.
And I believe it was just Hamada that came down.
Okay, Hamida
I did,
plus the three PCs.
yes,
Yeah.
Very good. And Evan.
Emily?
yeah.
I thought it was
Actually, did
Emily, not
Emily come
Hamada.
down? Yeah,
Emily did come. Emily came. Emily wanted to come,
that's
so
right.
nobody objected. So I think she's there.
No, we
Yeah,
want. I said we wanted her
you want to
close
keep an
by
eye
too.
on her.
And she's
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
best
you wanted to keep an
prospector.
eye on her. Yes. Okay, so who are we going? Are we going to leave? Do we want to say Dr. Bircher is staying with at the village,
Yeah,
maybe
we won't be
because
long. We won't be long at all.
Elsa there? Okay.
Right?
How many? Who, if any, of Emily and Hamada do you want to bring with you?
Oh, I think we should take Hamada.
I think we should ask Evan. um,
What do you want to ask him? Like,
basically, our friend here is our protection. You can see she's like armed to the teeth, right?
well, yeah, she has a rifle.
Yes, and we don't.
So
I
to
don't.
the,
I
I
consider
guess
this armed to the teeth. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
um, and well, I guess we are traveling to the jungle, but we're traveling by day, so we don't have to deal with the cannibals, allegedly. Um,
Allegedly.
so, Evan, um, it's not going to be a problem if we arrive at camp with our, just with our protection, obviously for our safety, right?
I don't believe it will be a problem. You have already proven yourself to us, and I will give them my word that you are trustworthy. I
Excellent.
um, I I don't think we'll have a problem. At the worst, your companion would either have to wait outside or surrender her rifle while we're in the camp.
I laugh. Surrender her rifle. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I roll my eyes at that too.
um,
I,
are you
I
sure
don't
you're able
suspect
to
it will be
travel?
necessary.
We have our space our vac suits, which will give us some help, uh, climate control. Not, it's not gonna be pleasant, but at least we'll be okay to make it. Will you be okay to travel in the day, Evan?
Oh yes, I make this journey uh, relatively often. I'm a bit adapted to the heat. Uh, the, there is something in the air that uh, can cause some health problems, but I have a makeshift mask that I wear while we
What
that
would
I'll
that?
wear while we
I'm
travel.
sorry. What would that be? What are you talking
I'm
about?
I'm not quite sure what it is. I've heard it's referred to as phosphine, but you're going to have to talk to Vidon about that. I'm not sure exactly where it comes from or uh, why it's so prevalent in the jungle.
Can I
Pause.
roll? Can I like roll for this and know if I know what this is?
Yeah.
Or is it better not to
Uh,
roll? Probably.
if you want to, I'm going to say it. Hmm, there's really a knowledge thing. I'm going to
Might be
say
better not to roll, like based on our expertises. I'm like a plant person, so is it plant based? I
give
think I know
me,
that.
yeah, just give me a wits roll,
Okay.
um,
Sorry.
and you should be able to just click on wits by itself.
Let's try it. What? Roll stress
And
dice? Yes or no? No. I'm not. Oh, that's cool. It lets you roll it without stress dice.
oh yes, so that's because you don't. It's not necessarily a skill roll. It's just a passive.
Yeah, that's good. So
Do
there's
you
a whole
know this?
system.
Can you
So then
do?
there's a system
Yeah.
for not panicking on a roll. It's just not a skill because you only use skills and stress.
All right, you
I'm
got
sorry.
one success. So Yoko knows that phosphine is a relatively poisonous gas.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't kill you instantaneously. It's often a byproduct of uh, like high power systems, such as generators, atmosphere processors, mining
Yeah.
processors, that sort of stuff. Can
Oh,
it
I
it
should have
can
known
it
that.
can build it can build up, and it can have long-term health effects if you're exposed to it for a long period of time. In fact, it would have made sense if you're right, Todd. if if Kip would have Kip probably would have known that
Yeah.
You know that about
it
atmospheric
is,
processors. So the
yeah,
mention
or
of
equipment in
phosphine.
general. It's
Yeah.
in fact, I would imagine that Kip would probably be able to smell phosphine.
Ooh.
So just like someone becomes more attuned to the leaking gas and that sort of thing
I'm gonna say it.
when they're
I'm gonna
around
say
it
it.
all the time.
I'm gonna say it. I love the smell of phosphine in the morning.
Yeah, it does. Lyoko explains that he's heard of high energy processes generating phosphine. Not sure. I don't know if it could be generated here by something like the atmospheric processor, but I do know that high energy use and generation can produce phosphine as a byproduct and is dangerous. So makes sense. I think this makes sense that we should suit up then. And if you have your mask, that would be excellent. And I think we're ready to go. I don't have anything else.
Uh, well, very well. Let me get my spear and some provisions, and we can head out. It's probably going to be we'll be traveling most of the day. We should arrive a few hours before sunset.
There you go.
That'll be good. Best to avoid the cannibals if as advised by your leader.
Yes, unfortunately, the ferals do generally avoid the heat of the day uh, when they go out looking for food. That is when we need to be most careful around the villages to avoid their raids. All right, I
All right.
have. I'm ready to go. If uh, the three of you will follow me, we can start making our way to the camp. and he leads you south, and you are going to enter the jungle about here. As you make your way down, you see you're out in the open here, so there's not a canopy covering the sky, and you see some strange long-tailed birds flying very high in a flock overhead. There is probably close to about four or
Sorry.
five dozen of them.
Mhm.
Uh, and you can see they are fairly large. They're about the size of an eagle, at least from your guess,
Mhm.
uh, from how high up they are. But they briefly circle overhead above you. But once you pass into the jungle, you can no longer see them as the trees are blocking your way. Once you pass into the jungle, the even through your vac suits, you feel the heat and humidity just to hit you. You can feel a shift in temperature even through your vac suit as your vac suit attempts to, start cooling your body off. It doesn't seem to be able to keep up right away. But Evan is presses forward and seems barely affected by this heavy heat and humidity.
Huh.
I'm going to say that the visors over um, your helmets begin fogging up fairly quickly, and
Mhm.
they start the water vapor is beating up on it, and you're constantly having to wipe it off in order to navigate and keep an eye on Evan.
It's fogging on the outside, like it's too hot and humid outside, but it's too cool on the inside, so it conserves the fog.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Exactly. Yep.
This is
So
brutal.
it is. I mean, it's not making it so you're blind, but it is annoying having to wipe
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
away
Uh-huh.
the moisture that's built up like every 30 seconds to a minute. You're walking.
Yeah.
Evan seems to be moving a lot more quickly than you are. The overgrowth here is very heavy. You're having to carefully avoid vines and overgrowth, tree roots that are protruding. There's areas of marsh that you have to walk around. And yeah, Evan seems to be, I mean, you can still see him, and he stops every once in a while to wait
Mhm.
for you. Looks back and checks, but it is you're starting to grow a bit concerned that if something happens here, that it's going to be very difficult for you to move quickly because of how thick the jungle is.
Yeah, we got to get him slowed down. Is it like, and we got our suits on, so can he even hear us? We got some sort of communications with him.
Oh yeah, there's like a microphone that can project out of your suit,
Okay.
and you have radio. You can talk privately to each other
Okay.
uh, through the vac suit, but there's a external radio or external speaker so that you
Mhm.
can to speak to people not wearing vac suits.
Okay. So inner voice to Yoko. Uh, is 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 this guy trying to lose us, or he's just trying to show off that he's adapted to this jungle? I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little winded here. You know.
Just try to keep up. I'm trying to, like just try to uh follow his footsteps. That's what I'm trying to do here.
Well, yeah, keep him in sight. I know. I mean, gosh, I don't want to get lost out here. You know.
Um, I imagine I'll be in second, and I don't know if because basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to mimic Evan's movements and decisions about the path and however he's maneuvering.
Okay.
So I'll tell Windows like, hey, just stick behind me and do what I do because I'm doing what he's doing.
Okay, all right. You can just call me Steamy Windows because that's what I am right now. I tell you, I can barely see a thing here.
All right. So he estimated. So you guys left, shortly, after you woke up and ate something in the morning. Uh, so I'm going to say that you headed out around 9 a.m.
Mhm.
Or equivalent. There's only 20 hours in the day on the
Yeah,
planet
is it
Dylan
summer or
Colony is on.
winter?
uh,
Does it,
so
is the planet on a
oh,
tilted axis?
so what I am going to need from you guys
Yeah.
is a mobility roll, and I will roll for Hamida. And this is not to avoid losing Evan, but it's going to basically signify how much slower you're going to go than Evan originally expected you guys to go.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Um,
Sounds good. This feels like a very stressful situation. I don't know if like stress ever just automatically goes
uh,
up or if it like
it
you
it
like
it's not going up right now.
okay, cool.
Uh, right. I would say I would agree with you. It's starting to get stressful, and maybe if you guys have to feel you want to push
I see.
after you do your agility roll, I mean your mobility roll,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we can establish that. Let's see.
Okay.
Hamida got
Pretty much 0.
three successes.
Successes.
Yoko
Okay.
got 0.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I pushed, so I
Um,
got
okay.
2.
You're
All
gonna
right.
push. I'm gonna push.
You didn't need to. You
Wh-
had 3,
I
right? Oh no, sorry. Hamid had 3.
Uh,
no.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I
Hamid.
had
oh, oh, you got 0. All right. So you
No, no.
find. All right. You've
Windows
no.
has
got
1.
his one success.
I got one.
Yep. Yeah, I saw you got. Yeah, you got it with your because you pushed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all got successes. The smallest number of successes is 1. So unless Kip wants to push again to try to get 2, it's going to take about the exact amount of time that Evan predicted. Um,
That's fine.
Hamida holding up the rear can't help Kip out? Help Windows out? With the 3 successes?
no, it's going to be the lowest number of
I see, I see.
successes is going to
Well,
be the dictation because that's the
yeah.
slowest person.
No,
Very good.
well, I mean, what's wrong with that? Okay, so we
That's
get
okay.
there the
You were
same amount of
complaining.
time.
I understand. It's
What?
difficult. We'll make it. Keep up.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna
Just
make it.
follow
We're
my
gonna make it.
footsteps. We'll make it.
All right. All right.
All right.
Carry on.
All right. So there's going to be a few opportunities in the first few hours to ask Evan some questions if there's anything that you want to know.
Okay.
We
Had we
can.
had we find out how long they'd been living outside the colony?
Um, how do you can ask?
You can
That's how
ask
you
him.
would know.
Uh, how long you been living outside the colony?
I've lived here. Uh, I've lived here out here all my life, but my parents say that they remember they remember living in the colony as young children. I've been inside on scavenging, but I've I've never lived in there myself, and I only remember the story my parents told me that from when they said they were children.
Right. And how old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, a while back. A while back. Hmm.
Do you what did your parents tell you what happened? How all the people got pushed out of the colony into the jungle?
Oh, they don't know, or I don't know, but I think Vidon might be able to provide you some more clarity on that. Uh, I that's not really anything I've ever thought about or worried about. Seeming I've
Yeah.
never lived there myself, but my parents said that there was some sort of breakdown in leadership, some sort of revolt. I I don't quite understand.
Or Volt.
Well, so what makes the colony uninhabitable now? Why don't people try to move back in?
The gas,
Ah, I
uh,
see.
it's it's quite heavy there.
Ah,
I I something in the colony is leaking it, but uh, several years ago, uh, the 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 leadership decided that the colony should only be entered by those who have some sort of protection for scavenging. It's uh, they said that the gas had become too concentrated and too deadly.
right.
That seems sensible. Seems like the Dawn has some sense.
Okay, I'll be just right back, guys. Just gotta get Sam and onto.
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
When Evan says the Dawn, does do I get a sense of whether or not it's in like respect, in reverence, in like do I get any sense about how Evan feels about the Dawn?
Um, I would
Right?
say you don't get you don't have a feeling that he thinks highly or poorly
Okay. Yeah.
of the colony. Simply that it is a place that is rarely entered and only out of necessity.
Oh.
Um, it's not some sort of aspirational place to live.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry.
he seems.
I meant the Dawn, the leader. Like he's talking about the Dawn, right? Like the Dawn is the leader of the camp.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me about how he felt about the colony. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I
Yeah, yeah.
misunderstood what you were
The Dawn.
asking.
The Dawn is the
Um,
leader of the camp. Is that correct? Or
uh,
of all the villages and stuff, presumably.
I mean, he's the one that Evan has directed you to, but there seems, from the way he has talked over the course of the trip, it seems that there is some sort of council or like a
Oh,
multi-level
I see. Okay.
uh, leadership. So, but he does when he speaks of the Don, he seems to think uh, he seems to think he is the primary leader of the
Okay.
group
Okay.
and seems very respectful of him,
I see. I
as
see.
though he can provide all of the answers that Evan is not able to give you.
Excellent. Um, I don't have any other questions in this topic.
Okay,
So I imagine we walk a little
all
more, and
right,
then I might
yeah.
bring something
So
else
you
up.
guys,
Bring something
yeah,
else
you
up.
guys.
If I have an idea. I
Okay.
just want to ask real quick. Hey, Evan. So the biodiversity in this jungle and this plant and Dylan colony on the planet is quite spectacular. There's quite. I think so. I don't know. You can correct me, John, if that's not true. But
No,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
true.
sorry.
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of different flora and fauna. It seems like your leather there. I point at some article that he's wearing. It looks like it's probably came from here too.
Yes, there is a small mammal that we hunt for food.
Oh,
I see.
We call it's known to us as the chocta, and
the what?
it's the chocta. It
The chuck.
is it is he kind of uses his hands to gesture and like show you the approximate size. It's approximately 2.5 to some of the larger ones are about 3 feet, and It has a long tail and this sweaty, thick hide that it uses to protect itself from the vegetation and the poisonous vegetation in the area. And I believe it feeds on that vegetation because we often find it hiding amongst it in relatively large groups of maybe five, sometimes a dozen.
Are the creatures
And
themselves poisonous? I am at maybe they pick up some of the plant
we
life.
need we the creatures themselves do have some remnants of the poison on them. When we must be very vigilant in cleaning them after a kill to
You mean the
ensure that it
phosphine?
doesn't.
They have phosphine on them?
No,
Oh,
poisonous plants.
oh, okay,
We've been avoiding them. I'll point them out as we encounter them, since
right.
yeah, um,
Do they eat those
Yoko
plants?
seems. We believe so. Um,
Okay. So there are they. So does this mean they're not good to eat?
Yeah,
oh
how's the
no,
meat?
we eat them.
Oh, okay.
We have no issue. The only other things uh, that could possibly be worth eating is a small rodent that we find living in the trees.
Hmm,
But it is they're very sparse, hard to hunt, and they don't seem to congregate together, so it doesn't really seem worthwhile.
I see. Sorry.
All right, any
Oh,
other questions for him
Oh,
oh,
so
before we
so are
move
there?
on to the
The only
second
other
half
question I
of.
have, Evan, is are there larger creatures out here?
oh, yeah.
If those pelt and meat animals are about 2 or 3 feet, are there any macro animals like whales or bears or elephants?
Apex
uh,
predators, maybe. You know.
uh, uh, there are these birds that fly above the canopy, but we're
The ones
not
we saw
entirely
earlier
sure where
before we
they
entered
feed.
the before we
Yes,
entered the canopy. Yeah.
yes, we're not entirely sure where they feed and what they feed on, because uh, we they never seem to disturb
Hmm.
our small encampments, and they don't come as far into the jungle as where the camp is. So uh, I'm not sure what they eat, and I've never seen one up close.
Huh.
Hmm. If we get another look, maybe we can use one of our scopes to see get a better look. I know quite a bit about plants and animals, and I may be able to discern something just
At the
based on the physiology or yeah.
the high plateau by the mining facility may give you the proper vantage points that you would be able to get a
Oh,
good
okay.
look at them.
All right.
Keep up, Windows.
I'm
Don't.
trying to. I'm trying to. Okay. Okay. So inner channel here. Yeah. So this phosphine that's leaking from the air processors. I mean, if we can get a good look at those processors, maybe we might be able to reverse all this from happening, right? And get them back into the colony.
That would be ideal, Windows. They. I'm skeptical that the only source of the phosphine is the processor, but we can certainly, if we have a chance, we should check it out. I mean, are you thinking? You think Dylan is recuperable?
Ah, not until I get a look at that atmosphere processor, that's for sure. Actually, I got a question, John.
Mhm.
Do I think an atmosphere processor would be spewing out enough phosphine to actually cause this much damage or
Uh,
pollution?
if it is operating properly, it should not be doing that. generally there's safety protocols
Yeah.
inside of these things that
But if it
will.
was, what I'm saying though is if it was malfunctioning, it could be spewing out enough phosphine to cause this. All
I
of
mean,
this, or
if it's been running that way for decades, it's quite
Mm.
possible.
It seems plausible to me because it needs to be powerful enough to spew out enough good air to fuel the colony with good air. So it must be capable of spewing enough bad air.
yeah. Okay. All right. Carrying on, wiping my visor, gasping for breath. All right, let's go.
All right. So it is getting into the early afternoon at this point. And you suddenly start to see that a thick fog is developing inside of the jungle. Uh, it happened not instantaneously, but within a few minutes before you realized what was happening. And Evan has disappeared. You can no longer see him. He is
Man.
further ahead of you in the fog.
Since I'm number two,
Okay.
Evan, I'll call
Everyone's stress level is going to go up 1.
Okay. Evan.
Just
Lost eyes. Evan.
Are we starting at 0
Yes,
or
I'm.
1?
You're starting at 0. Yes.
I had
Okay.
one
Oh,
because
no,
I
you should be.
pushed.
You should be at 1 because you pushed.
Okay. There we go.
So Kip should be at 2 now.
Okay. Yep.
I'm here. This happens occasionally. It's when the moisture is heavy enough and the heat is high above the canopy. This can occur. Just come towards my voice very slowly. We'll stick together and move as quickly as we can within
Can
view
we
of one
see him?
another.
Can we see him or just hearing him?
You're just hearing him right now.
Man.
But he's directing you towards him.
Windows,
don't
you
like
see,
that.
you see me, right? I like just turn my head just to make sure that we're in sight of each other.
Yeah,
we?
and Hamada, you can see Hamada behind you. You're within range of one another.
Okay. Good.
Stay close. I think Evan went this way. And I go in the direction that Evan. Like last time Evan was going, and I
Yes.
think I hear his voices.
Keep playing Marco Polo.
And yep, he keeps calling out to you, and you start following his voice, and you begin to make out his form in the fog, and eventually you can clearly see him, and he waits till he can see all 3 of you before continuing on, and just as go ahead.
Can we use our tethers here now that we see each other? I don't know if we have.
Oh yeah, tethers.
You want to tether
I
like
don't know.
all
It's
4 of
terrible.
you
It's
together?
probably a terrible idea, but yeah, let's like carabiner clip into each other.
No. You would do
Right.
it. I mean, if you were on an ice planet and it was a blizzard out, you sure would be tethered together, right?
Since we have our suits, it would make sense.
Yeah, he's. Do you want to tether to Evan too,
Yes,
or are you
I'm
just saying
I'm
to
gonna
all
pull
3
my
of you?
little rope or whatever, and then like show the clip, and then like, what can I clip onto you that's on you? I'm just like gesturing because he's probably.
Okay. Yeah. So after the 3 of you attach to one another, and then Yoko, you know, hand like begins to hand one to Evan. He seems a bit confused as to what it is you're doing, and says this may slow us down, uh, but perhaps this is a good idea. The 3 of you would be lost if you were out here by yourself.
We absolutely would be lost. We need you, Evan.
Yeah.
You know, it's better if we stick together, anyways. Windows is having a time keeping up.
I'm fine. Okay, it's just
All right, so
fogging up.
he takes the carabiner and begins to clip it onto his belt, and just as he's doing so, you see a flash of movement come through the fog, and something tackles him to the ground. It seems human, and
Oh,
it begins thrashing at him, and he begins trying to fight it off.
Man.
we're all he's attached, right? We're attached now. Everyone's
Yes, you are all
scattered.
attached now.
Touch, engage.
Since I am
So what
since I
is
am closest to Evan, I will try to tackle this humanoid form that just tackled my friend or our guide.
okay? Give me a well, it's going to be close combat. So yeah, give me a close combat roll, and we'll see if you can tackle this thing to the ground. It is you got a success, but you're panicking.
Way to go, Yoko.
You got a nervous twitch. Oh boy.
Oh wow, that's reasonable. That's a good.
Nervous twitch.
Yeah, so that means everybody else's stress is going to go up one. So Hamada and
Get a jerk
and
on the
Kip
rope
are going.
as it pulls
Yes.
toward the commotion.
All right. So Yoko like instinctually leaps forward and tries to tackle this human shape that is thrashing at Evan. And he throws it to the ground and gets a good look at it. And it looks human. It is dressed in ragged clothing, is completely filthy, and has scars and stuff all over its face. And as you pin it to the ground, you see it snarl and snap at you, as though it's trying to bite you through your vac suit.
Oh
And it
gosh.
begins trying to struggle to escape your grasp. It is. This must be one of the ferals that Evan
Yeah.
was telling you about earlier.
Very clearly, from our perspective, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
In which case, I'm gonna try to bash its face in with my fist.
With your fist? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Close
And
combat?
do another close combat. Yeah.
Oh,
3 successes. Okay. Yeah. You bring your fist down through the with the vac suit covering on it. It's pretty tough. Tough fabric on your hand, like protects your hands. So it probably does not feel good as you connect with this thing multiple times, and you see it passes out as you bludgeon it. It's possible, you broke something in its skull when you pounded down on it, but it is unconscious on the ground, and
Wow.
you can see Evan's picking himself up and says, "Oh my God, thank you so much. It's I didn't see that thing coming. It's you you already incapacitated it." And he seems quite impressed that
I'm impressed.
Yoko put this thing down so quickly.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like straddling this thing, and I'm just like breathing heavy, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, it's basically I don't hear anything. He says that, and I'm just like, purely focused on this bashing that I just did.
Yeah.
I can finish it, and he raises a spear to impale it in the chest.
No, don't.
Why? It tried
Tie
to
it up.
kill us.
Let's tie it up. Let's see if we can communicate with them.
We don't have time for this. There could be more of them nearby.
Well, then we could use it as a bargaining chip. If
They,
we kill it and they find out, that's going to make
I,
things worse.
I don't know. I've never heard of bartering with these things.
Well, you only know what you know, right? We know we have different ways.
Very well, but we cannot linger long. We need to
right.
get to the camp before dark.
Okay. How big is this thing? This person?
It's maybe 5.5 feet. It is obviously malnourished. It's
Okay.
pretty skinny.
Okay.
But there doesn't seem to be like it's very lean and muscular. There's no fat on it whatsoever. It
Okay.
is you can't even discern what gender it is.
Oh wow.
Uh, it's so like its hair is so long,
Hmm.
and it's covered in so much filth.
Hmm. Maybe Hamada could throw it over her shoulder.
I
Uh, she doesn't seem happy about it, but she's
Come
willing
on,
to
come
carry it.
on. All right.
I
I
don't know
mean,
if I'm going to be able to use my rifle if I'm carrying this thing.
well, I can carry the rifle for you. Okay.
Can you use the rifle if more of these things show up?
Yeah, I have. Yes, of course. Don't you remember? Look at what I'm carrying here. I'm carrying the Armat M41A pulse rifle. Come on.
All right.
Okay.
She turns her rifle over to you, which may even be the same thing. Let me see. Yes, it
There
is.
you go. There you go.
Now you're dual wielding. Let's go.
Don't you? Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
No, he has one slung over his back while he has
Aw.
the other.
That never get any fun. Okay. I was just gonna like
Well,
totally
if it comes
Rambo it.
down to it,
Rambo it. Yeah.
I'll let you Rambo it.
Oh, right on.
That's not that's not the practical way to carry two rifles. When
No.
there's no action going on.
No. Okay.
All
So
right. So Hamid, let's see. Hamida's what is Hamida's strength? 4. Yeah, I'm not going to make her roll for this to carry this because I mean this person's barely weighs like
can she use
90
her extra
pounds.
successes on the mobility to carry this
Sure.
guy?
Yeah, we can do that. Yep. So she can keep up with you. Are you going to continue to stay tethered to one another? That is
Oh
my
yeah.
first question.
I'm
Okay.
almost considering
I,
tethering this cannibal onto us as well.
if it's
Oh,
still
great. So the
if it's still
unconscious body that will,
Yeah.
if Hamada has to leave behind, you're going to have to drag along.
yeah, if it's still foggy, I think we should.
You think we should tether the body
No,
to
no, no. I
our?
think we should. I think we should
Oh, we're definitely
stay
remaining tethered.
tethered to
Yeah, I
each other.
agree. We're remaining tethered. We're carrying on. Hamada's
Yeah,
last. So the order is Evan, Yoko, Windows, Hamada, and and then the body
Barrel.
is being carried by Hamada.
Right. Okay. All right. You guys press on. It's a bit more slow going
Oh,
until the
definitely.
fog begins to clear. Uh, and within about maybe 2 hours, the fog has cleared, and Evan turns back and says, I think it's probably best that we disconnect these ropes, and we're going to have to start passing through a tunnel soon in order to that leads up into the camp.
Okay. Now that we can see, I think that seems reasonable. Do
okay.
the Hey Evan, do the ferals, do they usually hunt in packs, or are they more of solitary animals?
At night, they seem to hunt in packs, but we don't rarely see any out during the day because of the heat. But it's possible that the one that we've captured was following the fog in an attempt to find something to eat.
It makes sense.
I've
The
have
fog was a
heard
little
rumors of that happening.
makes sense. The fog was a little bit of a relief from the heat, even though it was still hot.
Okay.
Ah,
All right, so you're going to continue to take this thing with you as you travel
Yeah.
up into the cave. All
oh,
right.
will Evan? Will the Dawn be interested in uh, our friend here? Our
I
captive? Our
We have never brought one of these into our camp. In fact, I suspect they will execute it at their first moment to ensure that these things don't learn how to make it into our camp.
That
Oh.
seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah, I put it that way.
What
Okay.
we could do is blindfold it.
Yeah.
Even though it's unconscious, may as well.
Yep. There you go.
I take a moment to tie a piece of fabric or plant, potentially, over this person's face.
All right.
No, you know, just grab some mud and slap it onto the eye sockets.
Okay. It doesn't look a whole lot different once you do that, but you do so in an attempt to obscure its vision. It does still seem unconscious. You can see that there is severe bruising that is appearing around its eye sockets and its forehead from where Yoko was pounding on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So you, Evan leads you into uh, a, a some sort of cave that was obscured by heavy overgrowth. You can see, like, before you pass into the cave and look up, you can see that the rock formation that the cave goes into seems to travel up above the canopy of the jungle itself. And there seems to go ahead.
It's like a cliff face.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And it goes up, and we can't see how high it goes because the canopy is like next to it.
Exactly. Yes. Cool. Yeah. So you can look up and you see the where the canopy ends, high above you, and the stones obviously the cliff face obviously goes up even higher than that. It seems like the cave was purposely obscured with large branches and stuff that were put down in an effort to make it look like some sort of plant was growing in front of the cave. Yoko notices that as he's passing through the opening and looks back, and it becomes obvious that these are not living plants, but something that is probably placed there and replaced maybe as whatever is picked begins to decay.
Marvelous.
Once you're inside about maybe 50 feet or so, you can see that there are lit torches that follow the wall, lighting the way, and the cave begins to incline very quickly. And you follow Evan all the way up to the top and eventually see the bright sunlight coming out of an opening well ahead of you. And Evan stops and looks back at you and says, "We've made it to the camp. Please let me introduce you before you press forward. And I probably think it's best that we leave the feral in here and not bring him along when I introduce you, in order to avoid any issues with or concerns that may be raised among the guards or leadership." Would you be okay with that?
Can I test the feral's consciousness?
Yeah,
would I be able to do a test that
you
tells me that this person's definitely unconscious and not faking unconsciousness?
There's not really any tests that you could do for that. I mean,
punch it in the face again
test
as hard as I can. Look, no, I mean
Okay,
it.
I
I mean
mean,
it.
I
Like
guess that would
I want
work.
to cause pain, right? Like because
Right.
if it was awake, it would wince or whatever, you know.
Are you going to punch it in the face, or are you just going to, like, maybe poke it with something sharp in the foot, or
That
like,
makes
are you?
more sense. That makes more sense. I'll use a sharp thing and I'll basically actually pierce it just to see if it winces or responds in any way. Like just
It
some
doesn't.
random appendage. It doesn't matter where it is. It's just
Uh,
actually
yeah,
puncture, cause blood.
yeah. It doesn't seem to react.
I'll say
it
Evan.
it
Evan,
is.
this person's not conscious. We I would like to, if it's I would we would like to offer this person as a gesture that we are not interested in causing any harm to the good people that still inhabit Dylan.
I, I'm not sure how the executives will respond, but I will I will relay that when I introduce you.
We'll wait here. You can go ahead and prepare them for our arrival, or and then come back and get us.
Uh, yes. I'll just be a moment. I need to. I want to get the the three executives to the entrance of the camp and introduce you there without drawing too much attention. I want them to see what good people you are, and not to stir up all the workers that are inside of the camp.
Right. I gotta tuck Sam in, guys. 8:30 here. I'll be back in just a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we take a quick break, and that way, because I don't want Todd to miss this part.
Yep. Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So I'll come back in like maybe 5 minutes or so. All right. So we are back after a short break. Evan has guided you through the jungle up into the camp itself. You can. I'm going to show you the map of the camp
Ooh.
so you can
Okay.
see how extensive this is.
Let's see, where are you here?
You do not own any
I mean,
token with vision in the scene.
What's that mean?
don't start this stuff again. Okay, why do they turn vision on?
There you go.
Okay,
Got it. It's the
all
cliff.
right.
It's the dwellers camp.
Yes. So you are coming out at the tunnel entrance, which is right there.
Mhm. Okay,
That's a
cool.
little hole.
And if you want to see how far across this is,
Is it correct?
it's
What
not
is-
even a half a kilometer across.
Okay.
So, you know, you can only see the workers' shanty area right now. But you see that there are some guards and there's a makeshift fence that is connecting these buildings right there uh, as some sort of protection. Uh, looking down off the side of the cliff, it would be incredibly difficult to try to scale these cliffs. I mean, it's several hundred feet up. You know, about 50 feet down, you can see the top of the canopy
Right.
of the jungle. So, I mean, you'd have to climb quite a bit and have a lot of gear with you to do that. And you suspect that this is the main protection is being on these small plateaus that is keeping the feral out of this camp. The workers' shanty area is a bunch of these aren't tents, but they're actually makeshift buildings. Not ex, not very extensive. It's not, these are all like kind of shacks that have been put together. But the materials are not wood. They seem to have been most likely taken from material that have been scavenged out of the colony itself.
Hmm.
So uh, they seem to be have taken quite a bit here to construct all of these living areas. Looking across south of you, you can see that there is some sort of building, like it's has an open front, and you can see that there's some sort of altar inside of there, and some stones, sitting stones that have been that circle around it. It seems to be some sort of place of worship or something. And then you see more buildings off in the distance in various. Hard to tell exactly what those areas are. Um, and you see that there is a small group of people gathering around the other side of this fence, which is separating you from the workers' shanty. And
Right.
you are obviously creating some attention here. Uh,
So
Evan
we're
has
here
disappeared.
waiting, right? Like by near
Yes.
the exit of the tunnel.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yes. You're
Well,
kind of, you're out in the opening a little bit, peeking around, getting your bearings. Evan has disappeared through the fence. You assume to go retrieve the leadership that he wants to introduce you to.
mhm.
Um, and while he is gone, that's when you notice all the attention you're getting and the people that are being drawn to the fence. Are you going to engage with them, or are you just going to wait patiently?
I'm waiting for Evan.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
expressing to Hamada and Windows. I kind of feel a little bad we gave our potatoes to the villagers. I mean, I don't feel bad we gave them the potatoes, but don't I feel bad arriving empty-handed. Oh wait, we're not empty-handed.
We're not empty-handed. We brought them a feral.
You're
That,
Hamida says, "You're empty-handed. I'm the one carrying it."
Good point. Maybe I should carry it in to make it look like since I was the one who disabled him.
All right. And she,
Throws
you
it
know,
on the
she picks
ground.
this thing up. She was like Marine carrying it,
Oh,
over
yeah.
her shoulders, and she just like tosses it to you. And I need you to make a just a might roll to make sure
Very
you're
cool.
not knocked over as you try to take the weight of this thing.
Might.
I'm sorry, strength, not might.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
just do strength.
Not with stress. No stress possible.
No stress. Yep. All
Oh,
right.
look at me.
Yeah. So, you're a little taken aback because you just caught
Oh
about
yeah.
a 90-pound person
Oh yeah. I'm struggling.
that's completely dead weight.
Yep.
And and you took it. How are you go? Are you going to try to carry it the same way she was, or are you
So
going to?
I like catch the thing in my arms like I'm carrying a bundle of hay or like a bundle of firewood, like with my arms out forward in front of me
Okay.
holding it. But then like it's
All right.
difficult. So I hold it for like a moment and then I'm like, what do I do now? I can't really move or do anything. So I'm gonna like just eventually drop this person to the ground and then try to reconfigure to mimic how Hamida was carrying him. So like obviously
Okay.
the military like over the shoulders situation.
As as
I'll
you're
try
trying
anyways.
to reposition and carry this body a bit more effectively, you can hear someone scream like, "They brought a feral! There's a feral here!" And there's seems to be some panicking on the other side of the fence, and the guards are, not sure whether to come through the fence or keep this large group that's congregating back away from the fence. Um, are any of you going to
Okay.
respond?
I'm focusing on trying to keep this thing under.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pick this thing up and
Okay.
hold it. And
What about?
struggling.
I'm just kind of waiting to see, like, is this guy coming back or what? These people are starting to get a little antsy, which is making me a little antsy, you know? Like, hey, like, we're not here to cause any problems. I say over the bullhorn built into my suit. All right. We're not here to cause any problems. Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and that seems to stop like a widespread panic.
Oh, that's all it
You
took. See?
calming them down, but eventually you see Evan forcing his way through the crowd, and there are three people following him. There's an older man directly behind him, and he is flanked by two younger women, one black and one Asian. Uh, and they look quite concerned over the ruckus that has grown around this fence. Uh, and you see Evan talking to them and gesturing to you, and he gestures for you to approach the fence.
Oh, okay.
We should approach.
Yeah.
The group of us. I'll carry this person, even though it's difficult. I can manage.
Doing a good job.
And he says, uh, he says, I, they approached us. They approached our small collective down near the mining facility, and they were from off world, just like the others. They they seem to have knowledge well beyond anything that we know. And look, they've dispatched one of the ferals single-handedly with their bare hands. And uh, the three of them look at you, and they seem surprised, like taken aback a little bit by the fact that you're in vac suits, uh, and it's obviously more advanced than anything that they know of. And the older gentleman kind of pulls himself together a little bit and steps forward and he says, Evan here has spoken very highly of you. I understand that one of you has saved the life of a young guard back at the town. Is that correct?
Say that again, sorry.
One of you has saved the lives of a young man, a young guard back at Evan's small collective. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
was impaled.
yeah.
Our doctor is with them now.
Uh, we are very grateful for your help with that. And may I ask, what colony have you come from? We haven't had contact with any.
Sorry. I'm on my internal voice here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember the last time we said we mentioned mother? And they started getting
They
all
started, they started talking about Mother
Mother
Michaela.
Michaela, right? Maybe we could use, I don't know, some other word rather than mother.
Oh, the
You
Michaela
know,
colony.
don't trigger them. You
um,
know.
so Todd, out of character,
Yes.
you're. Am I still the face here?
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah. You're
carrying
just
this person
well.
on my
Here.
shoulders.
Here. Put them on my shoulder. Okay.
No, I don't mind
Transfer them
carrying it.
over.
I just want to make sure. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to be the
Because
face
I'm
here.
definitely not. I am not the face. No.
I am not either, but let's do it.
Oh. Okay.
my face abilities are the worst.
Oh. Okay. Well
okay.
then, what's my face? Let me just see
I don't
here.
know.
Hold on.
Are yours better? Yeah, if yours are better, you should be the face. But let's see.
What am I looking at here? I am looking
I
at.
have a 2 in empathy and
You
a
want
0 in manipulation, so that's
yeah,
a
that's a manipulation
Oh.
is
Oh.
basically the
Please.
only.
I've got nothing. Nothing.
worse than me. 2 and 0.
Okay.
Let's
I
look
got
here.
manipulation 0 and
0,
empathy.
2. Oh, we're
Two.
What
same. Okay, we're same.
what is this empathy you speak of? I do not see it.
Okay, I don't mind talking to them.
Okay.
Let's
Why?
see. The doctor's
It's just
there. Did they ask us a question right now? Am I like leaving them hanging?
uh
They asked what colony you're from.
Ah. Um. Greetings. It's true. Uh, we've helped you, and in advance, we would like to thank you for your help as we are on a mission. We are on a new colony, not one of the originals that that were founded over a century ago, but a new mission to reunite the colonies. It seems like the contact has been lost, and there may have been turmoil out here in the Spinward colonies. But um, we are interested in forging a new path forward for humanity in the Spinward colonies. Um, we are um, we that's our mission, and we visited the Gorham colony, who had lost most of their members, other than only a mere 2 families remained, who we brought back to our new colony, to our new mission. We came here to Dylan to find out what the status of the colony was and to see if we could work together. If you We could work together to perhaps use the resources of Dylan or whatever remains toward a collective good. I just want to see how
And
they feel about that.
yeah, so they seem the three of them seem to be processing this, and they begin speaking quickly amongst themselves. And the man who you assume is Vidon, based off of the interactions between him and Evan, he says, "I was not aware of a new colony in the system. Uh, Surely you've had some interactions with these. We've had other who are claiming they're refugees from something called the Children of the Two Divine. We're not sure what to make of them, but they've turned themselves over, and uh, we have them secured in this camp. And
Two divine, like the number two, or two divine as in like extremely divine.
the number two, I
Thank you.
believe, and they claim to be on the run from someone named Mother Michaela. I Surely you've heard of these people and this mother that they speak of.
Shh.
Internal communications here. What are you gonna tell him there, Yoko?
I can hear you always.
What are you gonna tell them?
Even when I don't want to, I can hear you.
What are you telling them?
Oh, what am I telling them?
Are you going to tell them that we've heard of Mother Michaela?
My response would be, we don't know Mother Michaela. Tell us about Mother Michaela.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you may be able to shed more light on them. We're not sure what to make of these two refugees as they claim to be. We're
Refugees, off-worlders who came to Dillon. Is that what happened?
Yes, their ship crashed northwest of here, not far from into a plateau in near the mud pits. And you realize that this is the ship that you investigated when you flew over.
That's
during
where
your...
Okay, so that's where the Children of the Two Divine crashed, Sam?
Yes.
Okay.
We saw this ship. It must have been able to carry and I guess how many people the ship could carry.
There were only two survivors. They didn't seem dangerous, so we provided them some shelter, but they're secured deeper into the camp to the southeast.
Secured?
They're
Imprisoned?
secured.
I ask.
For now, we're not sure how to deal with them.
How long ago did this happen? Crash.
The dark skinned woman speaks up and she says, "My name is Zuma. I am the one that discovered them during a scouting expedition. It has been about 2.5 months since this occurred. We've been feeding them in the meantime, but I'm concerned that others might be coming for them, the ones that they're fleeing from."
Okay.
2.5 months is very recent. What? Let's see. What? If someone were to be chasing after them, how would they even find them here?
Well, if they have a fully functional ship, I would imagine that they would be able to at least find uh, where these two children crashed.
The wreck is very
We're
far
not.
away from this camp. I'm sure you'll be okay. I'm trying to be reassuring, even though I'm struggling under the weight of this body.
That is what we're hoping, but there has been some debate as to whether or not we should keep them amongst us.
I would think the key is to keep eyes on the wreck because, as you say, if anyone comes looking for them, they should find the wreck first.
Yeah.
You have scouts out there?
We send scouting parties out several times a week. They have not found anything in addition to or to refute or support the claims that these two have made.
Well, only thing I can do is assure you that we don't know who these people are or what they're interested in. Our mission is exactly as I told you. We are trying to unite the Spinward colonies, or at least to find out what happened to them and salvage and recover whatever we can. Not to take for ourselves, but to distribute evenly amongst the colonies. I'm just proliferating UPB propaganda.
Yeah, right. Well, we would certainly like to learn more about this new colony of yours. Why don't we get you settled down and perhaps we should dispose of this feral that Evan says you saved him from. And he speaks to one of the guards behind him and tells him to take this body and throw it over the cliff to the north. And then he seems to start arranging for a place for you to stay.
Have you ever tried to communicate with these things? I'm just asking.
I imagine by this point I've just like thrown the person on the ground. They're in front of us. They're like in between us and these other people, and they're just on the ground. I don't carry this thing anymore.
Okay. They've lost all semblance of humanity. They no longer are capable of reason of any manner that we have been able to discern.
You sure about that?
As sure as this colony exists.
All right. Well, that's I don't have much empathy, so yeah, okay. I'll believe you. All right. Yep. Throw away.
Sorry, before you throw this thing, I'll say thing politely, over the cliff side, when you observe the ferals, are they well coordinated? Are they working together? Or does it seem more like they are just blindly seeking to hunt? I'll put it that way.
I believe that they've devolved to their most animal instincts. They wandered into the jungle before we escaped up into these and created this camp up in the cliffs. They have not attempted any sort of communication other than killing us. That is why we are quite certain that they are not capable of reason. They only want to feed.
All right. Well.
All right. So the three of them turn to walk away, and the guards begin picking up the body. And as the three of them walk away, you notice that there is a faded logo on the back of their jumpsuits that says Wayland. And that's where we're going to stop.
Okay. Logo. Okay. Hmm.
Cool.
Interesting.
And I'm sure
Interesting.
there's just from the colony. The colony must have had lots of whaling gear laying around.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
not like
I'm sure
they're.
that's all it is.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
maybe they just
Hey,
liked the whale art.
hey, Dune, have you played Call of Cthulhu before?
The RPG? Or
Yeah, the RPG.
You mean
we've played it.
besides the times we played it
The
together?
Together?
oh yeah, that's right too. What am I talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna
Gosh,
stop the
Well, we
recording.
played.
Thanks everyone.
we
Bye.
played.
Okay. All right.